Right, well, I hope this is recording. I've been sent some questions about Red Dwarf and my role in it, and these are my answers. Apologies for the quality of the video. This is on a laptop, which isn't all the best, I think. I may have to do it again on my iPhone, but anyway. So, question 1. Can you tell us who you are and what you do? Well, my name's Callum Coates. I'm an actor. I mostly work on the stage, but I work on film and television as well. And in Red Dwarf 12, I played Joseph Stalin in the episode called Cured. Number 2, how did you get the role in Red Dwarf? Well, I think it was my agent who put me up for the role. I'm pretty certain it was. Don't think I put myself up for it. Anyway, I was asked to go for an audition. I'd already played Stalin before in a previous job, and coincidentally Hitler and Mussolini. So when I went to the audition with Linda Glover, I was quite keen to be seen for both Hitler and Mussolini, in fact. I mentioned it to Linda, and she very tactfully steered me back to the idea of only being auditioned for Stalin. And the reading went very well. You know, I find him an interesting character to play with, and the accent's quite fun. But I did something really, really unprofessional. And it's not something you'd ever normally do in an audition, but for some reason I thought I'd give it a go. I'd kept the moustache that I'd had from the show in which I'd played Stalin previously, so I brought it with me. And just as the audition was coming to the end, I just said to Linda, you know, obviously I don't look an awful lot like Stalin, but I do happen to have a moustache with me. So I pulled it out of his little box and stuck it on, and then did the scene again, which made her howl with laughter. And that obviously was enough to get me the job, because I think the next day I got a phone call saying yes, they wanted me to do it. So, number 3, have you any funny moments or stories that you can share from set? We just had such a laugh. I would imagine that almost anyone who's done one of these question and answers will probably tell you what fun it is being on a Red Dwarf set. Everyone is just so professional, but also really relaxed and welcoming and a lot of fun. Specifically, the moment that Ryan, when he was playing Hitler, delved into the fruit bowl and pulled out a dragon fruit and pretended it was a hand grenade, that was Ryan just mucking about, but Doug liked it so much that he decided to keep it. That was quite fun. And I think that although we were supposed to have the selfie being taken in the script, it was Ryan's idea to actually use a real camera and take a selfie, which again, I don't think had originally been planned. I think it was just going to be put in afterwards, but Ryan said, no, let's use a real selfie. And the way he said selfie, great. There was quite a bit of a laugh around which song Ryan and Craig would sing, and ended up with the I Love to Go Wandering, but there were all sorts of other options, and I think people were shouting out ideas, and each time they came up with an idea, somebody had to go and check whether or not they could afford to get the rights for it, and a lot of them were not available, or they weren't playing ball or whatever. But there was quite a lot of fun surrounding that. Oh yeah, I mean, it's not exactly something hilariously funny, but I just found it really interesting that when you go on to the set, every single thing has been designed and put there. So, you know, you could sit on the sofa in the mess room and pick something up, and it had been designed. There were magazines which you could just flip open, and it didn't matter what page it was on, it was something related to the show. And there were crisp packets on the floor and sweet wrappers on the floor and things, and they all had been designed by the art department. And I was just really impressed that there was so much care put into it. Really tangentially, the thing that I actually was kind of bowled over by filming at Pinewood was when we went for our initial read-through of the script. We went over to the old Edwardian mansion house, which is Pinewood, and I suddenly realised that that was the house which featured as the governor's residence in Carry On Up the Khyber, and I got really excited about that more than anything else. Not the fact that it was James Bond 007 set or the Star Wars set was there, etc., but Carry On Up the Khyber just made me laugh. Number 4, besides your own, who is your favourite Cured character? I would really like to have seen more of Vlad. I just thought Philippe was fantastic as it. He looked exactly like the painting of Vlad the Impaler, and I thought again his accent was hilarious. But obviously Ryan did pull off a really left field performance, so I don't think anyone else would have played it quite like him. So I guess probably Hitler. We've been told that almost 14 minutes was cut from the episode. Do you remember any of the missing moments? No, I can't. It's really odd. I'm going to have to sit down with the script at some point in time and go through it and see what we lost, because I don't think it was anything from our scenes. The reanimated guys. I think it was from Lister's scenes and various bits in Starbug, but I can't remember offhand. But yes, I think they were originally assuming that they had a 45-minute slot, and that's why the episode was the length that it was. And then they suddenly found out, oh no, you've only got a half an hour slot. So yeah, quite a lot of editing had to go. But one day I will dig out the script and have a look and let you guys know. Number 6, did you get to keep anything from the set of Red Dwarf, scripts, etc.? Well, I've got the script and I've got the shooting schedule, and there are various other bits of paperwork which I've kept, but I didn't get hold of anything else. The uniform came from Angel, so I couldn't hang on to that. The latex was pulled off, so I didn't get to keep any of that. The wig belonged to them, very, very expensive wig, etc. I didn't even get a t-shirt. Some people got t-shirts, I didn't. But at the wrap party, we were all given a Red Dwarf power bank for phones or whatever, and I've still got that, and that's very cool, very useful as well. Number 7, if you could return to Red Dwarf in the next series, who would you like to play? Frankly, I'd be happy to play anything, really. Probably an adversary. They're usually more fun to play, but fortunately, I think in real life I look a bit different to how I did in Stalin, so I could either come back looking something vaguely like this and play a normal human, or I could be covered in prosthetics and play anything else. Don't mind. Have you a favourite episode? Well, I do, and it's a weird one actually. It's Ouroboros, if that's how you pronounce it. The first one where Kachansky's played by Chloe Annette, and the only reason that is my favourite is that I went to the same drama school as Chloe. She was in the year above me, and I was just really, really pleased when she got that job. So that is probably my favourite episode. Number 10, have you a favourite cast member? Well, I vaguely knew Chris before. We have a mutual interest in cars and motorbikes, and a friend of mine who knows him really well introduced us at a party, so we got on really well. Danny spent most of his time on his mobile phone between takes, which causes quite a lot of merriment on set. Get off the phone, Danny! But he was lovely, really, really nice guy. Craig, I didn't really get to talk to an awful lot. He was so busy doing other things, and he had his family in and stuff. But probably, I think Robbie, he's incredibly humble. He kept on going on about how nice it was having real actors around the place, as if he wasn't one. 27 years earning his living as an actor, and he still doesn't think that he is one. But he was really, really nice and very friendly. And I'm quite interested in all his interests as well. What was it like to play the character, and do you wish you could have done more? Well, it sounds weird, bearing in mind that Stalin was a mass murderer responsible for the deaths of millions of people, quite literally. He's actually just a really fun character to play. It's weird. When I did a lot of background research on him for the stage show that I did, I was very taken by this fact that in most of the photographs you see him, he does appear to be smiling. He's got this very benevolent, kind uncle look. I guess that's why he got known as Uncle Joe. But you just know that behind that smile there is this psychopath who thinks nothing of sending thousands of people to their deaths. So he's an interesting character, and obviously we played him for laughs to some extent in Red Dwarf and in the previous show. But he has a depth and a horror which is quite interesting to play. And I also find it interesting that he was a bit of a country bumpkin. People used to laugh at his accent. Well, I don't suppose they laughed much, but he had quite a strong country accent, and he clawed his way up from being a really petty criminal to being one of the most powerful people, or probably the most powerful person on the planet at the time. So those were the interesting aspects of playing him. But just having the makeup put on and donning that uniform, it's all intriguing. And certainly would love to have had more time to have more lines in the show, but there just wasn't time. It overran by 14 minutes as it was, so I was quite happy to stick with the plan. But it was just such a joyous experience working on the Dwarfs. So thank you to Doug and team. So that's it. I hope that answers your questions. I will one day try and find out which bits went, and I'll get back to you. That's it. Bye.